viewers, joining me now is a very, very special guest from Paris. In fact, he is Emmanuel Macron's special envoy for the mega India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. And his name is Gerard Mestrallet. He undertook to visit to India to understand the infrastructure and development strategies of New Delhi as far as Imeec project is concerned. So welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be with you today.
Yeah, sir. First of all, I would like to talk to you about your recent visit to India. You visited India. You were here for 2 days. You went to Mundra Port, which is also one of the opening point of this project. You were here to understand New Delhi's infrastructure and development strategies as far as this project is concerned. What is your reading as far as New Delhi's preparedness is concerned and the kind of work and efforts New Delhi is giving to this project? Do you think that New Delhi has enough infrastructure, or do you think that more needs to be done? And if more needs to be done, in what domain and space?
Okay. First of all, it is important to remind that Imeec is a very important long-term project for all the countries and the states having signed the initial agreement. Okay. It is a project, one of the main projects of the 21st century. That's very, very important. Okay. And as you know, India is at one end and France is with Marseille at the other end. And so that's important that India and France have an Imeec, a very important dialogue about Imeec, which is, by the way, in line with the strategic agreement and cooperation that has been existing for the 25 last years.
Yeah.
And so India is very active on this project. India has been at the origin, and it is understandable. And Imeec is a key for the future of India, with its connectivity with Middle East and Europe. Yes, India will be ready. Of course, since the future traffic, the future trade between India and Europe will increase dramatically, all the existing infrastructures will have to be adapted, reinforced in line with the traffic, but also adapted with the new kind of exchange. It's not only goods, not only containers, but also energy, green electricity, green hydrogen, and digital data. So I have visited the Mundra port, and I have the occasion also to exchange with the Adani executives. And clearly, I have been very much impressed by the modernization, adaptation, the size of the Mundra port, 40 kilometers large. And so there is a room for increasing and reinforcing the capacities of the port. There is also around the port the special economic zone, which is very dynamic, and this is also a model that would be used all around the track of the future Imeec, not only in India but in other countries. But clearly, you know, India is key for this project. In India is the rising empire of the 21st century, and Imeec will connect India to Middle East, which is also facing a rapid growth, and Europe, which is one of the largest market as a region.
Okay. Sir, also want to understand from you, this initiative was launched in front of all of us in New Delhi in last year on the sidelines of G20 summit. But I have been witnessing, I may be wrong also, that most of these countries who participated at the time of launch had suddenly gone inactive as far as this project is concerned. But I appreciate what President Macron has done. He has appointed special envoy for this project. I have two specific questions for you. One, that why France is so proactive, and why the other players, involved in this are not being have not been so proactive in terms of dialogue or maybe meetings with the other countries, etc., etc. So yes, go ahead.
Well, first, it's true that France is very, very active, and President Macron has appointed a special envoy for Imeec. So far, he is the only one having done such an appointment. Nevertheless, in each country now, we know who are in charge. Of course, it's not a special envoy, but it is a high governmental official following carefully the Imeec project at a level very close to the chief of state. That's the first thing. France has a special relationship with India, and since the project, in fact, starts from India and goes to Marseille and France. And so it's important that the two countries, being at the two ends of the project, have a very dense dialogue on Imeec. That is the case, and also it corresponds also to the vision that President Macron has in his global view on the world, in order to create connectivity links between Europe and France and the rest of the world, where we have friends, like in India, also to secure and intensify the routes, the supply for the supply of the industry, and also in terms of geostrategic approach. President Macron wants to increase the links with Orient and especially India.
Okay. Also want to know that other than France, which other country has appointed an envoy? And as an envoy representing France, do you know the in charge for this project in the other countries, member countries?
Yes, we know there is no special envoy, but we know who in the direct people connected to the chief of state. We know who is in charge in the various countries, and so it's important to have a special bilateral dialogue, which most of them. Of course, one of the next steps in the future will be to have a permanent organization with Sherpas or special envoys. There could be 8, and the Sherpas could gather in the interim period before 2 G20s, where the chief of state could discuss on the Imeec. That's a future view that would be very simple manner to progress on Imeec. But you know, we are in the period where for a project of long term, like any long-term big infrastructure project, which requires years to be built, but also it requires some time to build the pre-project and pre-feasibility studies. So we are in this period.
Okay, we are in this period. Okay. Sir, my next question to you is that how much the war in Middle East has impacted the progress in this project?
You know, first of all, I'm not here to make an assessment on the political situation, which is, of course, a difficult and very critical situation in the Middle East. Nevertheless, we must distinguish the short term and the long term. This project is a very long-term project that will be built for decades and decades, and in my view, for the whole century. And it will structure the economic world for the whole century. So, in the short term, there is the situation that we know, which is very difficult. Nevertheless, it's a period of pre-feasibility studies which can be done, and you know there are three legs of the project. The first leg is a maritime between India and the Arabic Peninsula. This one is working and going on very rapidly. There is the second leg, which is on the land between say the UAE and Haifa. And there's the third leg between Haifa and Europe, Mediterranean Sea, and Marseille for us. And so the first leg and the third leg are going on. I was yesterday in Marseille for the French-Indian Business Day in Marseille, very active with corporations. And so the third leg is also progressing.
Okay. So my next question to you is, when this was launched, obviously, this has a lot of strategic relevance also. And at the same time, since it's a long-term project, it's the project of the future. It would contribute to the prosperity of not just one region, but whole of Europe and world. But also many looked at it in a way as a counterweight to China's BRI. What is your point of view on that?
You know, the connectivity between Orient and Occident have to be developed in any case in a world of trade and exchange, and this route will facilitate the exports and imports between India, Middle East, and Europe. China has other routes. And all the routes can be done, and the market will finally decide which route will be the best one. And finally, it will be the market which will decide, not the politicians. And for that, Imeec will have to be, and it is designed. It will be designed to be faster, to be cheaper, safer, which is very important, and also greener. And those four characteristics will be the main characteristics of Imeec. But at the end, the market, the shipping companies will decide to go that way or that way.
Correct. Sir, a very last question that I have on this project right now is that, you know, there have been a lot of talks as far as this project is concerned. In fact, it was launched also on the sidelines of G20 summit in New Delhi. According to you, you said that right now the project is in pre-project and pre-feasibility phase. You know, there is always a phase in which any project gets divided. But when can we see the project turning into a reality? And as per the estimate, since you are an Envoy, you must have your own estimate of the project. If you can share it, you know, maybe a very vague estimate, but something that we can, you know, a talking point for our viewers also.
You know, there is no specific timeline for this project that has been defined. Nevertheless, all the segments will not progress at the same speed, and that's not a problem. When you build a bridge, it is essential that all the elements of the bridge to be connected in one time. For the Imeec, it's different. You can make progress. That's the case on the first leg, and investments are made in Mundra, investments are made in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, exactly like investments are made in Marseille. And so progress can be made, not necessarily at the same speed, but of course, as soon as the situation in the Middle East will be totally clarified, the second leg could make a quick progress. Nevertheless, I am very confident that the Imeec has a very strong geostrategic and economic logic, and I'm sure that it will be done, and in a relatively rapid pace.
Okay. Also, so very last question, sir. India, somewhere, when I hear to Indian think tankers, those who talk more on Indian perspective and Indian strategic interest, they also look at in next 50 years, maybe India could position itself in the center of West and the East. So India could act like a bridge through the Imeec to serve the West, and also since India is focusing a lot on the eastern side, and in terms of developing more connectivity and etc. So India could become a bridge between West and the East. How do you look at this this idea?
India by itself will be a key partner for the West. By itself, India, with its immense population, with its growth, with its existing GDP and growth of GDP, with its talented people, will be, in my view, you asked me a personal point of view, will be the rising empire of the 21st century. And so the attractiveness of India as a direct interlocutor of Europe and Middle East, it's sufficient. Of course, India will be at the center of Asia, will play a key role. So it's much more than a bridge. India by itself is the natural interlocutor, natural partner of Europe and Middle East by its powerful economy and powerful people.
Okay. So thank you so much for finding out time to do this interview. And I really hope to meet you next time you are in India. And I'm told that you are in India in the month of November. So yes, I really look forward to meet you again.
Okay, I will be back in India in November, but in Delhi, and it will be with pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.